I would imagine like the market here in Dubai would be aligned with it, or is it much different?
Dubai is one of the most like the potential market for us to expand into. So, and also like spending a lot of time meeting a lot of people in the last few days in BBW as well. So it's been like a good time. Bitcoin is like the new gold. And if you want to print whatever like tokens to like containing values, or print whatever financial instruments you want, it would be nice if you have some like gold reserves. I think only Bitcoin has such kind of reputation and wild recognition of values, not just by like the government, but also like by technically everyone.
We're in Dubai with Crypto Newsy in partnership with Global Blockchain Show, taking place here in Dubai in December. Today I'm with Matt from Lorenzo. Matt, welcome to the show.
Yeah, appreciate it. Nice meeting you, Mia.
I'd love to hear how Lorenzo came about. Tell me how it all started.
Yeah, so Lorenzo actually started from the project itself has been like started from late 2022, and that was like about 2 years ago. But we have been pivoted once. So previously we were building on something else, but only from late last year. So we figured actually Bitcoin is the real new blue ocean, and we want to just explore it more and become one of the pioneers in this space. So that's how we pivoted into the BTC space. And we've been building Lorenzo protocol after that. So it has been like about a year now. So building our current infrastructures and products.
Did it have a different name before?
Yeah, it was called the MEP map protocol before.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Lorenzo, like the brand, way more than that. Like, did you go like more intensely on branding and being present?
Right. So, I mean, it took us some time to really figure out what is the right PMF for the market, and also like how to find the right opportunities for us to, you know, to prevail. So previously we didn't spend like a lot of marketing budgets onto it, is because we're still in a phase of like figuring out everything. Yeah. But once we started with Project Lorenzo, we figured actually this is like a perfect marketing need for BTC kind of finance products. And also we have a very good position in this industry or verticals in general. And we figured it's the right time and right strategies to having like more marketing resources to be allocated onto the Lorenzo brand. And that's probably why you have heard more about us after
makes
that.
Sense. I was just telling you that you guys had the most high quality hoodies that I've ever experienced in this industry, and it's been quite a few years. So that was really good marketing, I guess.
Appreciate it.
So tell me, like, who's the ideal user here? Like, who are you tapping into?
Okay, I can talk about this for like 30 minutes nonstop. So, but basically, I think like BTC is for everyone, right? So the reason we are picking Bitcoin as the vertical, or picking Bitcoin as the assets instead of like any fiat products, because I previously worked in TradFi, so I've been dealing with a lot of clients working with their, you know, traditional money, right? Mm-hmm. So the reason I decided to work into cryptos, and specifically on Bitcoin mostly, is because I believe Bitcoin is for everyone. What I imagine in the future is that if you want to do like saving with your capitals, you actually shouldn't be saving your capitals in the form of fiats, because like fiats over time, it's going to be inflated, and also its value is going to be diluted over time through inflation. And even if you deposit it into like bankings or whatever, the interest rate is always lower than the inflation rate. So over time, you're slowly like losing your capitals in general.
I mean, the US just keeps printing money. Like the value of USD is just like...
Exactly. Yeah. We're probably expecting even more in the next 1 or 2 years. A better way is like, if you want to do saving, I think you should be saving your money in the form of Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Right? Because like over time, the exchange rate between Bitcoin and any fiats is like ever going up. Right. So there's like no inflation in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been like considered as new digital gold by more countries and corporations and like bankings and like basically everyone. Right. Yeah. So you should like do more savings in the form of Bitcoin. And what we do is like on top of that, with just like the beta of the Bitcoin price going up incrementals, we want to find some more extra yield sources for your Bitcoin savings through our yield infrastructures. Mm-hmm. So that's basically what we do. Right. So, and what are our ideal clients, right? So whoever having faith in Bitcoin in the long run, you should be like depositing kind of Bitcoin with us, and do saving with Bitcoin, and also letting us to find the best yields for you on the market as well. So that's pretty much that.
So some context for you, because the audience might know at this point, my mom entered the industry in 2012 buying Bitcoin.
Wow, that's a real OG.
There was some like my brother telling her to sell. There's some hiccups there, but then at some point she starts mining through like a third party or whatever. Like she's giving her Bitcoin to be mined. Gets a lot of Bitcoin stolen. There's a story here. My mom has been an OG on Bitcoin, and she still holds. She's like
nice.
Bitcoin maxi.
Yeah.
She aligns with the whole vision of the stereotype of at least the old one, not the ordinals and like the new, the new persona. And so like how is this good for someone like her? Just holding.
Right. So I feel like we call ourselves as a Bitcoin banking system, right? So the whole idea about banking system is that you don't have to, operate on your Bitcoin assets very proactively on your end. So it's basically matches perfectly with the holders of Bitcoins, right? So the same way it's like you're depositing your capitals into a traditional bank, right? You're expecting it just money sitting idle there. I don't have to operate on them. Instead, the bank is going to do all of the groundworks and finding me yields and, utilizing my capitals safely and also generating like reasonable yields for me on their end. So we are doing the similar things as well. When you're depositing your BTC with us, so we're going to be, first of all, so there is another project called Boblong, which is also like a superstar project. I assume you know that already. Yeah. So we're going to be depositing your Bitcoins and stake it into Boblong, and also using Boblong to generating passive yield for your assets. So this is one. And also two, we're going to be printing like LST, which is pretty much a tokenized form of your staked Bitcoin into Boblong, and use that token into the DeFi ecosystem as well. So that to getting extra yield for you. The reason I'm saying like the Bitcoin banking system is for everyone is that, so there are people like, let's say like your mom, who having a lot of kind of Bitcoin holdings, but since you're very faithful about like the Bitcoin prices will ever going up and the scarcities of Bitcoin, you probably don't want to actually spend it, right? So, but like, what's the point if you're not like spending it when you have like so much capitals? I think the right way to think about it is that you can actually deposit it into our BTC banking system and using your BTC deposits to generating more yield. It's like your pension fund. Think about that way, right? So if you got like, I don't know, like $10 million worth of Bitcoins sitting there, and you can get, let's say, like a 10% of annualized yield in form of other liquid tokens, right? So you're going to have like $1 million of pension fund. Like the yield's been like paid to you like over the year to cover your day-to-day like spendings, your whatever, insurance, your media care, like medicine and like livings and all kinds of stuff. I think that would be like a very ideal world, right? And then with the price of Bitcoins ever going up, so the pension you could be expecting are actually even more. So it's basically like a different way for you to invest your capitals and get yourself like, pensions and get like securities of finance in the long run.
Makes sense. It's like a way of it doing more as you're holding it than just like expecting the price to go up and so on.
Yeah.
I think like and sticking to this persona that my mom, the way it's been handled and also like the mindset, which is really interesting for me to watch. I think one of the most fascinating things for me in this industry is human behavior and like the logic which like each segment tends to think. My mom tends to do the following. She holds it and she tends to not use it for anything. And if she thinks of taking it out, will be to put it in a form of investment, say like real estate. And then whatever profit comes out of that is what she uses for other things.
Yes.
What's interesting here is that while it's sitting there, because she checks the price, of course, and whatnot, it would be like generating other forms of value that she could potentially spend. This is what you're saying.
Yes.
Would that be intended to be spent on chain, or would it be more like day to day, like card, that sort of thing? Just to be more clear.
So it can be both, right? So I don't think like blockchain world and also like let's say like on-chain world and so real world maybe is like totally separated, right? So and also the reason for that is like why payment has been mentioned more and more often today is because so people are trying to build a bridge connecting these two worlds and also like removing all of the obstacles and blockers between the two worlds as well. So assets on chain is of real value. Assets in a real world is of real value too. So as long as we can like bringing these like bridge connecting these two worlds, so you shouldn't be asking the questions after that, asking where my like my money is on chain or my money is like in my cards. So everything should be blended into one, I think eventually, right? So when you have fiats, you want to purchase some like on chain kind of products, let's say, or banking like yield products. You should be able to using your Visa card or your MasterCard or whatever just to purchase this product on chain and say we pay you out with all kinds of tokens, say Lorenzo tokens, Boblon tokens, Ethereum, Solana, whatever, Sui, Aptos, so all kinds of like different tokens to you. So you could like cash it out on chain and just like convert it into fiats eventually as well.
So do you look after other assets or just Bitcoin?
So for the financing kind of product, mostly we're only working with Bitcoin right now.
Yeah. But I'm wondering why. Like, are you planning to in the future, at least like the most, the ones people hold?
Right.
There's a tendency of like holding like at least like Bitcoin, Ethereum, at least for now, and then might expand into more. Do you have any plans of doing anything?
So in the long term, maybe. In the short term, I think no. So the reason for that is because I think only Bitcoin has such kind of reputation and wild recognition of values, not just by like the government, but also like by technically everyone, right? So by the government, by the Federal Reserves, by the giant corporations and banks, and also by individual investors and just like normal corporations as well. So it's been like widely adopted assets and also having a hard cap against inflation as well.
Yeah.
So this is like the only real, I think, digital gold in the crypto world. So if you think about it, the same thing in the last few centuries, so how in different phases, different countries are fighting for like gold reserves. And in different monetary systems, like gold is always a thing. So people are trying to print paper money to replace gold, but there is always like a lot of back and forth. And also like gold reserve is always a thing for backing the paper money that you printed, even if it's not one-to-one linked. So I think the same way for like Bitcoin as well, because Bitcoin is like the new gold. And if you want to print whatever like tokens to like containing values or print whatever financial instruments you want, it would be nice if you have some like gold reserves in there. Better than no, right? So I think like Bitcoin is definitely something I'm happy to start with, but in the future, maybe some other assets that I don't know. But in terms of our concepts, so basically it's about saving, it's about long-term growth by its own intrinsic values, and also 3, a very high expectation of yield in the long run from external. So I think Bitcoin is like the perfect assets aligned with these 3 aspects. So Bitcoin is like the gold standards. It's like the beginning of everything. So 2, in the long run, it's going to be the price will ever increases. And then also has like huge scarcities as well. 3, I think like the adoptions of Bitcoin will ever be more wider. And there are going to be more use cases for Bitcoin and all kinds of like smart Bitcoin, wrapped Bitcoins as well. So the economy of Bitcoin will ever expanding. So there's going to be like more yield opportunities there as well for invest your Bitcoin. So yeah, just everything works out.
It sounds amazing. I mean, this industry is incredibly risky and volatile, and with everything going on, meme coins and so on, and we had the NFTs, all the crazy stuff. It seems to me that you found this this path where it makes sense. Like there's less questioning if it would work or not. Like there's ETFs, there's all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
So it gives people more confidence, but also I'm not so familiar, but I haven't heard like anything so well structured for people to do more with their Bitcoin. So it makes sense to me. Tell me about your background. Like, so how do you land here with this idea? Like, what did you do before?
So I studied computer science in college and also in a master's school in US as well. And after that, I've been working in trading companies mostly. I worked in jump trading, and after that in Two Sigma, another hedge fund in New York City. So that's my pretty much my background. So a mix of computer science, technology, and finance a bit. So that's why I figured crypto is so fascinating, is because that's really like using the technology to revolute the whole financing systems and changing the concepts about a lot of things in a TradFi, but also a lot of like the traditional games could still be played in the DeFi world, but in a different form. So that's like really exciting. And also bringing the power of investment, bringing the power of like financing back to normal people. There is like no permission. There is like no it's just hierarchies of bureaucracies. Like in a crypto world, everything settles super fast. There's like borderless, countryless kind of investment environment that you can invest your capitals into. So it's just like a super fascinating idea to me, and I just figured that's something I really want to like invest a lot of my time and energy into.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it sounds to me like a good idea. The different markets behave so differently, like Asia, US, Europe, even Latam. Like, which markets are more interesting to you, and which ones are you getting like better response to this? So
I think like, unsurprisingly, I was like Singapore is giving me like very good feedbacks on a BTC saving aspect, because basically, like a lot of like the BTC like investors or holders living in Singapore, it's like crazy rich Asians basically that these days there. So it's real, right? A lot of people there, and a lot of kind of these like Wales Bitcoin holders, they're actually very experimental with their capitals. They're not just saying like, okay, I want my assets to be sitting in my cold wallets forever. So they want to embrace innovation. They want to getting Bitcoin to work. They want to build like a Bitcoin like finance ecosystem around that as well. So they're very supportive with us on building these DeFi, like BTCFi ecosystems. And also in the long run, I think it aligns with their interest as well. Because if this like, one day we're building like this Morgan Stanley, we're building these like, let's say Fidelity of like Bitcoins fully on chain. So that would be like the best opportunities for them to invest their BTC kind of capitals into, right? But it takes time to build up the business, to build up the trust, to build up like the security models and keep like evolving. It takes time, but we are at a perfect start. I think last year and this year we're having a perfect start in this long journey.
Interesting. And also, like, I would imagine like the market here in Dubai would be aligned with it, or is it much different?
Yeah. So I think yes, right? So I think yes. So I've always considered Dubai as one of the most like the potential market for us to expand into. So I'm also like spending a lot of time meeting a lot of people in the last few days in BBW as well. So it's been like a good time. I think one interesting thing about Dubai is that a lot of like these compliance and the regulatory stuffs are more like reasonable and achievable, like in Dubai as well.
Yeah.
So I was always thinking about we're thinking about like RWA, right? So we're also thinking about like say RWF. It's a real world finance, like onboarding real world finance onto blockchain as well. So we want our platform to be in the long run to be fully compliant and also regulated. So it's like safe for everyone to deposit your capital into, and that would be like the long term plan. So in that case, I think like working with regulations and also a lot of kind of compliance steps within Dubai is probably a good approach for us to invest our like time and energy in as well. And also there are a lot of kind of giant Bitcoin holders in Dubai as well, so could potentially, and also like it's not just about like these like Wales holders, but also like if you just like talk to random like people in Dubai as well. A lot of them actually have BTC holdings.
They hold gold, which I was surprised. Like I've met people here that hold like actual gold.
They do.
And it's like, wow, like it's almost like unheard of if you think like modern world. I mean, at least for me.
Yeah.
Or like maybe haven't heard anyone like openly say it. They say it and they sometimes say how much gold they hold, which is crazy. It's like not the safest thing to go around saying. So no, to me, it's interesting because it's like, obviously I could see this transitioning into the ratio of like gold to Bitcoin.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's impractical to hold gold, I imagine. Like you can get stolen, like it's physical.
Yes.
So yeah, like interesting. Is there anything exciting coming up for Lorenzo that you want to share?
Right. So we are upgrading our narratives. So previously we are more focusing on, so we have been naming ourselves as Bitcoin finance layer from the very beginning, right? So we are supposed to be like the finance like layer for all of the financial products for Bitcoin in the long run. But previously what mostly we have been doing was about like the BTC staking and overall. But in the long run, we are expanding our landscape into more kind of yield sources and also different kind of yield opportunities for Bitcoin holdings and also Rapid Bitcoin as well in that front. Yeah, so basically we are trying to be more aggressive and trying to like become like a one-stop kind of BTC finance station for everyone. So that's that.
Very cool. For everyone watching, where can they find you? You can refer to this camera here. Tell them where they can find you online.
So you can please like follow our Twitters or X account called Lorenzo Protocol. And also feel free to join our Discord channels and also follow our LinkedIn. So we're everywhere. So let us know. And also we gonna be posting our marketing and also campaign schedules later on. So for all of the events that we are going to, if you want to meet us offline, feel free to follow our like campaign calendars